Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Molly and today I'm going to be doing my May wrap up. So these are going to be all the all the books that I read in May. So let's get into it. I read 11 books this month and I'm just going to get into the first book that I read. So the first book that I read this month was Beg You to Trust Me by B. Celeste. I gave this book 3 stars. I liked it. This was the second book in the London You series. I read the first one last month. It was Dare You to Hate Me. And I like these books were enjoyable, but there is a lot of trauma in them and there's a lot of trigger warnings. Main trigger warnings for this book is like sexual assault, that kind of thing. And it's basically about Skylar, who is a college freshman. She moves across the country to New York, where London U is. It's like in upstate New York. And then Daniel, or Danny, he plays football. I don't know what position he plays, but he plays football. And he's from Boston, and they kind of become friends because they have like a class together and they become friends. And yeah, I don't know how else to explain this book, but it was good, I guess. I don't know. Didn't have a lot of feelings about it. Next I read When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect. These are like 2 books that are kind of like interconnected. They're interconnected standalones. So When in Rome is about Amelia and Noah, and Amelia is this famous pop star. She decides that she needs a break, so she decides to go to Rome, but she can't go to actual Rome because she has like tour and other like responsibilities. So she decides to go to Rome, Kentucky, and that's where she meets Noah, and they end up kind of like hanging out. It's a little enemies to lovers just because Noah at first doesn't really like her, but she ends up like kind of growing on him, and it's just so cute. It's a little like small town romance. Gotta love it. And I gave this 3.5 stars. Next, I read Practice Makes Perfect. I loved this one. This one came out this month, which is why I decided to read When in Rome, because I really wanted to read this. This is Good Girl, Bad Boy. Kind of like, I don't know if innocence is that a trope. Like, she's never had a boyfriend, never had a first kiss, and never lost her virginity. And she really wants to have a husband, or at least that's like what she thinks she wants. So she needs like practice lessons, practice dates. So Amelia, who also, this is Annie, who is Noah's sister, and then Will, who is Amelia's bodyguard. So Amelia decides to kind of sign up Will to give Annie lessons on dating, and it's really cute. Annie is adorable and their like contrast is so amazing. I love it. And it's still like all the small town vibes, and you get all like the small town characters from When in Rome in Practice Makes Perfect. Next, I read Saving Six. I loved this book so much. This is the 3rd book in the Boys of Tommen series. I read Binding and Keeping 13. I read Binding 13 in March and then Keeping 13 in April. And now I read Saving 6 in May. I don't know when I'm going to read Redeeming 6, which is the 4th book in the Boys of Tommen series. This is Joey and Aoife, and then Binding and Keeping 13 are Shannon and Johnny, and Shannon is the younger sister of Joey, so it kind of like follows that. This is actually a prequel to Binding and Keeping 13. This happens like right before, well, it's kind of like it goes over like a long period of time and it ends right before Binding 13 happens, like a couple months before. Y'all, Joey and Aoife are so unmatched. I was obsessed with Johnny and Shannon when I read their books, But I think I like Joey and Eva more because, oh my gosh, like, if you've read the books, you know, like, the shit that Joey and, like, his whole family has gone through, and Eva has her own baggage too, and it kind of just, like, contrasts with each other, and they literally will go to bat for each other, and I don't think I've seen love ever like I've seen love in this book, and it was just amazing, and it was 5 stars. Next, I read Kingdom of the Wicked. I gave this 2.5 stars. I wasn't a huge fan. This took me so long to read. Basically, this is a fantasy book about it's about witches and then, like, princes of hell. And the premise of the book was actually pretty interesting. Like, they go on this, like, quest to find murderer, like, all these different things. Like, it's pretty interesting, but for some reason it just got so repetitive, and I don't know, it just felt like every single chapter was almost starting to feel like the same thing would happen in almost every chapter, and the ending was kind of unfulfilled, and it was just kind of annoying, and it didn't make me want to read the rest of the series. And that's what it was trying to do. It was trying to, like, make you read the rest of the series, but it just made me hate this book more. So I gave it 2.5 stars. Probably will turn it down to, like, 1 star. Next, I read By a Thread by Lucy Score. I didn't like this book as much as I thought I was going to, because I really liked what is it, Things We Never Said, or something like that. Things We Never Said, is that what it's called? Things We Never Got Over. Things We Never Got Over I read like 2 months ago. I think I read in like March, and I really enjoyed it, and so I wanted to start reading some more Lucy Score books, and so I started reading this on the plane to New York, and then I kind of like finished it throughout the month. And I don't know, I liked it, and I liked the banter, and I liked Allie and Dominic, but I also was just kind of not interested in them at certain points. Like, they would just get on my nerves, both of them, and the way that they like acted and the way that they treated each other was kind of annoying me. But I liked the concept. So basically it takes place in New York. It's kind of like Devil Wears Prada. Dominic and Allie are enemies to lovers, and also that was the thing too, like, I feel like it switched so quickly from enemies to lovers. It was like literally they hate each other, and I was like, oh, no, I love you, and I was like, oh my god, you were literally saying a chapter ago that you wanted to kill her. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And basically Dominic, like, when they first meet each other, Dominic meets Allie at the pizza place she works at, and he gets her fired for her being like sassy or whatever, I don't know. And so Dominic's mom runs after Allie, gives her a job at like the magazine, like fashion magazine that they work at, which, girl boss, by the way. And then Allie starts working there. This was funny, I love this scene. Allie starts working there, and Dominic is like, you're fired, and Allie's like, you can't fire me, your mom hired me, not you. And it's so it was like really entertaining, and there was a lot of good smut, but the romance was lacking for me. I don't know, I just didn't feel it. I didn't believe it. I gave it 2.5 stars. Next, actually, I'm gonna do that later. Okay, next is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I liked this, and I liked the concept, and I liked the characters, but it just, I don't know, I feel like it just took so long to get to the point for some reason. Like, so basically this is a friends to lovers situation, and they've basically both been in love with each other since high school, but for some reason they don't want to tell each other that they love each other, and they just refuse to admit it to each other. It was cute. I liked both of them, and I liked kind of the premise, but it was also just so freaking annoying to go from each point of view to them like being like, oh no, like she will never think of me as more than a friend, and then it's her point of view and she's like, I've loved him since I was 17, and it's like, bro, open your freaking eyes. And even their friends say it. They're like, Nathan, she is in love with you. Oh my gosh. I get to talk about ACOTAR. I get to talk about ACOTAR. I'm so excited to talk about this book. I did a reading vlog. Like, I did a whole reading vlog on this. So I'm not gonna say like my full opinions, because I did like a wrap up and I like went through all of it. It's spoiler free-ish, sort of. Well, actually, yeah, it's spoiler free. It doesn't really give anything like serious away. There's just a couple things that I said that I'm not sure if those are spoilers or not. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's not, because if it happens in the first 100 pages, that's not spoilers to me. Like, I don't, maybe that's, or not first 100, but if it happens in like the first 50-ish pages, I feel like that's not a spoiler, because that's just you like starting the book. Like, you haven't really got into it yet. Especially if it's on the back, I feel like that's not a spoiler. And if it happens like on the first page, that's not a spoiler, you know? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's not a spoiler. I feel like spoilers to me are like when it happens like this part of the book. Like, this part isn't a spoiler to me. This part is a spoiler. I highlighted, if you can tell. Basically, this is ACOTAR. If you don't know what ACOTAR is, living under a rock, I think. This became really popular like last summer, maybe? I don't know, like last fall, kind of. I can't remember when ACOTAR got like really popular, but everybody started talking about it. Everyone and their mom has been talking about this book for so long, and I wanted to read it and experience it, and I finally did. And honestly, I loved it way more than I was expecting. I'm not a big fantasy girl. I don't really read a lot of fantasy. I mostly read romance. This, if you're a romance girl trying to get into fantasy, this is literally probably one of the best books to start with, because it is genuinely just a romance book to me with fantasy. Like, the romance is so much in it. I did not know there was that much romance. I also didn't know it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I had no idea. And then I heard that and I was like, actually, that makes so much sense. But it's like fays, humans kind of thing, so interesting. I'm not gonna say the whole plot, like, because if you don't know, you don't know, but I gave that 5 stars. Okay, last of the physical books that I read this month, I started The Hunger Games. I decided to reread The Hunger Games because the new movie, I thought it came out at the end of the summer. I thought it came out in August, but it actually comes out in November. So I already had these books on my TBR for this month, so I just decided to start them, and I'm probably just gonna like slowly read the rest throughout the summer, I feel like, and maybe finish the summer with the Songbirds, the Song of Songbirds and Snakes, that's what it's called, before the movie for that comes out. I'll probably just like read it all throughout the summer. But I was obsessed with these books when I was younger. I was a dystopian fantasy girly. Well, not like fantasy, I was dystopian girly. Like, I loved dystopian, Hunger Games, Divergent, The Selection. What were those other books? There's like others, and I like can't think of. Prodigy, you know, that's a throwback. Just like all of those dystopian books, I was a sucker for. I loved them. I still love them. The Hunger Games, like the first book specifically, for some reason, is, and this also happens with the movie, every time I read it, I become so almost emotional. And yes, I know this book is like very, like, it's kind of like sad, but it's not specifically for the book. It's almost like, literally, this was my favorite book growing up, like one of my favorite books, and it's just like reading it again, being like, oh my gosh, I loved this book so much. Like, I loved it so much. And the fact that like now I've read a lot and I feel like I'm a more like influenced reader, and I still love this, and this still gave me the exact same amount of joy I think when I was younger. I just love it. I'm not gonna rate it. I did give it a rating, but I've decided I'm not gonna rate it just because it is something that I've loved my whole life. So, but yeah, I did technically give it a rating, but I'm not gonna say it because I decided not to. Okay, and then Kindle time. So I read some books on Kindle Unlimited. I only read 2, and they're actually in the same series. I read Flawless and Heartless by Elsie Silver, which is in the Chestnut Springs series. If you don't know what the Chestnut Springs series is, I think you're living under a rock, because it is probably one of the biggest series on TikTok right now, other than Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing, I don't even want to talk about Fourth Wing. I tried to go to Target today and get the book, like side rant, I guess. I went to Target today, not specifically to get the book, but I needed to get other stuff. And I just like went over to the book section just to, you know, see if they had it, because I haven't really been like paying attention to it, because I was listening to Bookmarked by Destiny and Sarah, and they were talking about the whole Fourth Wing thing and them trying to get Fourth Wing and it like not being available anywhere. And I was like, I don't really know if I noticed that, because I remember I went to Barnes the other day and it was there, so I'm like, I don't think it's that big of a deal here. But it was Target and it wasn't there. And then I asked one of the guys and they were like, oh no, we've been sold out of that book for like the last 2 weeks. So I don't know. I need to read it because it's being really hyped up. I think I'm just gonna read it on my Kindle. But anyways, the books that I read on my Kindle this month are Flawless and Heartless by Elsie Silver. Like I said, Chestnut Springs series. A Chestnut Springs series is cowboys, basically. It takes place in Chestnut Springs, Canada, I think. And it's like this whole family. It's like Wishing Well Ranch. So the first book is about one of the brothers, Rhett and Summer. And Rhett is a bull rider. Yeah, bull rider, a rodeo bull rider. And Summer is his like manager's daughter, and his manager sends Summer to stay with Rhett at Wishing Well Ranch to kind of like get his behavior back on track so he doesn't ruin his reputation. Yeah, kind of interesting. I loved both these books. I really loved the first book. I can't remember what rating I gave it. I gave Flawless 4.75 and I gave Heartless 4.5. Flawless, I just loved so much. It's not like a 5-star for me because I don't know, I think maybe the series as a whole is gonna be a 5 stars, but the books themselves aren't for some reason. I don't know. But they were just like really fun to read, and I feel like they're just like really fun reads. There's not a lot going on, like there is a lot going on, but there's also not at the same time. Like I feel like, I don't know how to say this, but it's like there's a lot going on, like there's a lot of like emotional stuff, but it's also very heartwarming and just like lighthearted, and it's just very sweet and just cute, and I just love it, and it gives all the good country summer vibes, and I love it so much. The second book is Heartless, and it's about Cade, which is Red's older brother, and then Willa, who is Summer's best friend. And Cade has a 5-year-old son, Luke, and he's like a only parent, only single father. I don't know why I can't speak. He's a single parent, so he decides that he needs help and he wants to hire a nanny, but he can't make up his mind. So Summer's like, I'm gonna do it for you, and so she hires Willa, but immediately Cade is like, no, because Willa's a little wild, she's a little crazy, but she ends up kind of like really bonding with Luke and having such a good relationship with him, and it's such a good, like, it's so cute, and Luke was adorable in this, and he made me enjoy the book so much. And Cade and Willa are so cute, and y'all, the steam in both these books is insane. Like, it's crazy. It's a lot. But I just love it so much, and like I said, gives all the good summer country vibes, and it's so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later for more. Bye.